Chesterton, and it took place in the early 1900s in London. It's pretty much about a council of anarchists, and they're all named after like days of the week. So there's 7 of them, and Sunday is the president. Throughout the book, you only know him as Sunday, the president. And the main character, like the one that's most important, is named Gabriel Syme, and he goes by Thursday. So the anarchists, they're actually all undercover detectives, but they don't all know it. Like each one of them is an undercover detective, and so throughout the book, like they find out each like the other days of the week, the other men, they're also undercover detectives. So they all gather together to go against Sunday. And so he's a powerful man, so they're trying to like hunt him down, but they can't get him. So at the end of the book, he gathers them all together in like a room, like it's like a banquet or something. And at the end, it's all revealed what goes on. But at the end of the book, you find out that Gabriel Syme, the character who's Thursday, it was just like a daydream. It wasn't anything real. It was just something that he had made up in his like mind and something he daydreamed about. So I chose this quote. It says the pagans are wrong and the Christians are right, and the image goes with it because, well, I looked up pagans versus Christians, and the pagan is like somebody who goes against Christianity. So in the book, it's pretty much saying, obviously, if you're a Christian, you're doing right, you think right, and your head is in the right place. And that's like a Christian supposed to be like attacking a person who goes against that religion. But there's like further to it. The reason why I chose it, so I'm gonna read you like a little passage from the book. It says he knew that he had neither the intellectual nor the physical strength of President Sunday. But in that moment, he minded it no more than the fact that he had not the muscles of a tiger or a horn on his nose like a rhinoceros. So it's the quote is read by the person who's saying this is Gabriel Syme, the Thursday, and this is at the beginning, like the very beginning of the book, where he's with the Council of Anarchists, and he thinks he's the only one who's the undercover detective. So he's sitting in a spot, gathered at the table with him, and he thinks he's the only one. So he's kind of scared. He doesn't know what to do, and he thinks, there's the pagans, and since they're not Christians, they're not thinking about like the right things, and they're just thinking about going to kill other people, that they're like in the wrong place. Next slide. The next one I chose was, when I saw. It says, when I saw Sunday's face, I thought it was too large, as everyone does, but also thought it was too loose. So Sunday is the president, and whenever each of the men of the days of the week, the men, they see the president Sunday, they see him as like this big figure. Like whenever I thought about it and I was reading, I was like, oh, he's like this really big man, and like he's like scary, and like I don't know, like when I think about it, I think monsters or something really huge. So I chose the image that went with it, and since it's like dark, it's the earth obviously, so it's like something important to us because we live on earth, and the president is something important to them because they know that they have to go by his rule and do what he says. And so like it's dark right here, meaning like to me it went with his face, so it says that it was too large and loose. So it's like there's a dark spot right there, so it goes with like the fact that they didn't know much about Sunday. They just assumed that he was a certain type of person. Sorry. And so I have another passage that goes with that. It says the face was so big that one couldn't focus or make it a face at all. The eye was so far away from the nose that it wasn't an eye. The mouth was so much by itself that one had to think of it by itself. The whole thing was too hard to explain. So it's like they couldn't ever really explain what exactly the president Sunday was to them. So I thought of the theme, I guess, for it was like abstract, like the interest in the character Sunday, like how everybody just like somewhat admire him, but like we're just really interested in him. On the next slide. And then the last one is like on the last page of the book, it says they were walking like old friends and were in the middle of a conversation about some triviality. So at the end is when, like the very last page, is when you find out that the character Thursday, which is Gabriel Simon, he like, at the end of the story, he says that it was just like a daydream. It was a drama, and the person he's walking with was also in his daydream or dream nightmare. So I'm gonna read a passage that says he could only remember that gradually and naturally he knew that he was and had been walking along a country lane with an easy and conversational companion. That companion had been a part of his recent drama. It was a red-haired poet, Gregory. They were walking like old friends and were in the middle of a conversation about some triviality. So I chose this image because it, like, when I read that he was walking and like he had a daydream, I imagined like a long pathway, and he was walking with people. The image is supposed to be like, the sky is supposed to be brown and the road is supposed to be brown with it, and everything else is like a dark green. So I chose the image because it was like, it's like to me, I thought of it as he's walking down the lane, like something that's supposed to be pretty, something he's supposed to be like paying attention to, like the nature, the birds, everything that's there. But in reality, he's thinking about something like the color brown, like something dark, something different, something that's not there, something that actually never happened. So those were my three.